All right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smart podcast. This is episode number 154. Let me introduce my guests. First of all, before we go anywhere to review this past week in wrestling and our retro review, which is coming up later on, I got Vlad, the wrestling expert. Hello, Vlad. What's up?
Hey, it's good to be here, guys. Another week of talking about wrestling and the week of wrestling. And of course, okay, I mentioned the retro review of WWF.
Yes, the very popular retro reviews, which we have been doing for the past few weeks, have been getting us a lot of views and some nice subscribe accounts adding up. Keep them coming, keep them coming. My other guest tonight, of course, is the Frozen Asian Robert. Thank you for being here as well. Thank you.
What's up? What's up? All right, let's talk some wrestling.
Yeah, man, 154 of these, man. We're on a roll. We're like a well-oiled machine at this point, man. The way I get these shows prepared, and I just rolling them out every week, man. At this point, 154 of them. It's amazing. But we're at least, I think, 3 weeks out from WrestleMania, it looks like. 3 Sundays from now. So,
that sounds great.
All right, well, we're on the road to WrestleMania, so let's get our modern reviews out the way because we want to do some retro reviews later on. We're going to do actually Buried Alive, the pay-per-view, the whole thing. Not the whole thing in detail, but, you know, we'll go over the whole thing. But Mankind and Undertaker are fighting in a Buried Alive match. So if anyone is not interested in our retro stuff, is only interested in our retro stuff and not interested in our modern stuff, we understand. If you're on YouTube, I'll put bookmarks in the bottom so you can just skip to that if you want to. Go ahead. Honestly, that stuff is way better. But since we are a weekly wrestling podcast, we review the modern stuff too, and we have to get to it, and let's do it, and let's get it over with. Honestly, I don't think it was that fire a week of stuff on Raw, Smackdown, and Dynamite, which is the 3 main shows that we've been doing here, as well as any PLEs or pay-per-views, but there wasn't any this week on the AEW or WWE front. But let's get the show started. All right, let's jump to our blog post. Episode 154. The post, I have this in the description below if you want to follow along with all our topics today. It has links to all the blog posts that we'll be using and all the clips and videos and stuff. So if you want to follow along, that's up to you. But otherwise, here's topic number 1. All right, so we're going back to Monday Night Raw. This is March 24th, storyline number 1 in our review. We have a review of Monday Night Raw, all 3 of us, Vlad and Robert, if anyone's interested. It's in the description below, but we reviewed every storyline. But today we're just going to talk about the Cody Cena stuff. So for all the other stuff, you have to click on our blog post if you are so interested. But Cena comes out to cut another promo, basically. I think a lot of fans were quick to recognize that it was kind of similar to the week before where he cut a promo on the fans, you know, talking crap. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to go into detail, but I think he threw in one extra thing about the spinner belt. I think that's like kind of in my mind, I think that's like a preview of what's to come. I think they're going to bring that spinner belt back, especially if he wins the title. But he said the fans, you know, railed on him for the spinner belt, and then now he's going to bring it back, and he's going to, what did he say? He's going to retire with the title. He's going to win the title, and he's going to retire and take it home with him, and all that stuff. So of course Cody comes out again, so they have a nice talk, but this time almost gets physical as Cody unbuttoned his shirt and dropped the title belt, kind of looking to see if he can goat Cena into a physical fight at least, and then Cena on this night strategically walked off. So let's see, for our reviews on this night, let's see what we got. I gave it 2 thumbs up, which is a big come down from our previous reviews. Because last Monday, which was Cena's first, you know, heel turn promo, we all gave it really high ratings. But on this one, not bad ratings. 2 thumbs up from me and Robert, a thumb and a half from Vlad. So those are still really good ratings. But it just came down for us a little bit. All right, I want to get comments from you guys. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock for this topic because we got a lot of topics to get to today. But I just want to spend 5 minutes on Cena. So I'll start with Vlad. Vlad, you go first. You want to give any comments about this scene, the second one, of its liking?
Yeah, I mean, it was still a good promo. That's why I gave it a fairly high rating. I just think that a lot of it was repetitive of what he said in the first promo, which is not a bad thing. It just not as good as when you hear it the first time, right? But he did add a couple different nuanced things, saying that he'll be the last world champion, and he's going to be, he did, like you said, this with the whole spinner belt thing, which is, let's be honest, was a horrific idea, a terrible belt, a terrible looking belt, and everything in between. But it's fine that he can add that to the promo, and add this to the kind of the angle of why the crowd hated him and why he turned on them and whatnot. So it adds to it. Cody did his part incredibly well, again, as being like the ultimate babyface in a sense. And it was another great segment and another great moment, but makes me wonder what's to come, what's coming up next. I'm very curious. But
yeah, I think people are thinking it's okay for these first two times that it turned out like this, but it's got to go somewhere different, I guess, starting this week.
It will. I think there will be some physicality to it, and I do think they have to. I think they have to bring The Rock back into it. I mean, I'm sorry, but they have to. They have no choice. Like, whether they want to or don't want to, he has to be involved. Like, there's just no way around it. You can't have what happened at Elimination Chamber and have him not be involved. I mean, he has to. So, yeah.
Robert, let's get some thoughts from you. 2 thumbs up. You really liked it. Okay.
Yes. So, in the previous week, the promo that John Cena did, he set the bar incredibly high. I did not expect him to meet that bar again. I don't think he did meet that bar, but nevertheless, this was still really good. Also, another part of the reason why I can't rate it as high as the previous week is I don't think the crowd this time was as good as the crowd from Brussels. Yeah. The Brussels crowd was incredible. So this crowd was still good, but not as great. The combination of those two things, and some of the repetitive stuff that he mentioned, but still, I still liked it enough to give it 2 thumbs up. I'm curious to see what he means by he's gonna ruin wrestling. That I'm really, really curious about, because he did mention that he's gonna ruin wrestling for the fans and for the wrestlers themselves. So, all right, I want to see how he attempts to do that. That'll be pretty interesting. The next promo, this has to go somewhere, and I do think that at some point they need to bring The Rock. I don't know if it has to be the next Raw, but pretty soon. I mean, it is almost WrestleMania, so at some point The Rock has to come back and make an appearance.
Well, all right. It's funny you guys mentioned that, because I kind of got this feeling the other day. I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe The Rock is just not going to come again. I was like, what if that happens?
He will. He's going to. He's going to.
I don't know. I just think he didn't travel to the Europe shows, but he'll be there once they come back to the States.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. But you know what? I wouldn't mind it personally if The Rock wasn't involved in this at all till even the match. Like if they just let this be a Cena thing. Well, Well, what is he supposed to do? He's gonna come out with them as a valet or something for the match, or is he gonna be John Cena with The Rock versus Cody Rhodes?
Not necessarily, but you would think he would try to help him win.
So he's gonna run in. Or he's gonna send someone. There's other ways he could. There's other ways he could manipulate the match. Like Vince would maybe get the ref to just not do the 3 count. Just when the 3 comes, just don't count it or something like that, or the
Where's the 3? To quote Jim Ross.
Yeah.
Where's the 3?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, all right. So I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I mean,
it doesn't matter if the ref counts to 3.
You guys could be right about this. The Rock could be on his way back, and they're gonna have some segments. I don't really see how it's. I kind of would rather it be without The Rock. Like, okay, The Rock blessed him, and he's gonna kind of help him in some way. But I don't think he needs The Rock there by his side all the time, or cutting promos with him, or whatever the heck is gonna happen.
It wouldn't make more sense though, because The Rock was the one that gave the signal, right? For the turn. So
well,
it would make sense for him to.
Nothing's gonna happen until they have this match. We just gotta wait for the match. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the heel turn great. And I think the fact that The Rock was there, they have to go back to it, just because it was seemingly he did it to work with The Rock and to get benefits from working with somebody in that position, right? So you would think that would mean The Rock has to help him try to win the title, So yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, I want to move on from this. I don't want to spend all day on it. 5 minutes is fine. It wasn't as good as the opening day promo. But let's see what our next topic is on our Malapert's Mark episode number 154 official blog post.
Yeah.
I like this topic. All right. So the debut of the legendary El Grande Americano, a slightly controversial angle that they're running here on WWE. Robert, if for podcast listeners who are on the podcast platforms and can't see us at all, Robert has the Grande Americano in his backdrop for his Zoom. So, okay.
This was my highlight of the week.
Yeah.
All right. So storyline number 6 I listed it as storyline number 6 on our review, which is in the description below, the entire thing. If anyone wants to go see what we thought of every single storyline from Raw, there was some good stuff, but we're only covering a couple today. So, El Grande Americano, the pride of the Gulf of America, as they call him. You know what? I think this one, we're not going to do any other watch-alongs for modern stuff this week, so I'll take off the Okada picture, and let's listen to the video package for this one.
Good.
The rich, illustrious history of Lucha Libre is filled with legends like Blue Demon, the Guerrero family, and Mil Máscaras. But one star shines brighter than all the rest. El Grande Americano. Hailing from the Gulf of America, El Grande Americano was raised to be the ultimate luchador. He quickly rose to the top of the industry, and for decades was the face of Lucha Libre. But after being blackballed by his jealous enemies, he disappeared without a trace. Now, the legend has returned to bring the honor and
That's a great image right there. I love that one.
sport.
Was he flying?
He is an icon. He is a trailblazer. He is El Grande Americano.
Oh man! So then they cut to the back, and LWO is there with Adam Pearce, and they're like, "What the heck is that?" They're offended, right? They're playing the part of this is offensive to Mexicans, right?
Yes.
So let's see. I'll go through our ratings first. By the way, Chad Gable is there, and he's trying to say it's not me, and then he comes out as the Grande Americano. Actually, what's his name? Dragon Lee tries to take his mask off, which I thought was a pretty funky spot. But in the end, El Grande Americano with the victory. And our ratings for this segment, I said this was fire because I really enjoyed it. Like, I was just stone-faced watching Raw, and suddenly I start grinning from ear to ear at the just hilarity of this. Robert, a heart, plus 3 points, loved it. Okay, Vlad, 2 thumbs up, really liked it. So, okay. Robert, I guess in your comments, I would like to know, in addition to why you liked it, do you think this is offensive at all? Because I did hear some people say that Triple H has been kind of under fire for this angle in some way. So
Whatever, bro.
I did not think, I guess I have to think about it now since you brought it up, but that thought never crossed my mind at all.
yeah, because I'll pause the clock for a second, but we try to stay away from politics on this show.
Okay, so the thing is, for those who've been watching Raw lately, you guys would know what's going on. It makes what's happening now in this video package makes sense in the context of what's been going on in the past couple of episodes of Raw. Like I wouldn't be offended by this at all. I personally know.
All right. Well, give any other comments you got then. What's up?
Okay.
What's up with this? Chad Gable? Is it Chad Gable? Is it not Chad Gable? What's going on here?
No. Chad Gable was clearly sick. He had a doctor's note. So this was this was my favorite segment of the week personally. So yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been Chad Gable according to I forgot his name already. But he read it and said it was a legit doctor note. So
Adam Pearce.
Yeah, Adam Pearce. Yes, Adam Pearce said it was a legit doctor note.
Yeah, what did you guys think of how Adam Pearce is kind of going along with this? He's like, well, so I can't do anything about this, guys. The LWO's complaining, and he's like, well, he's signed. This guy is our newest wrestler, El Grande Americano, and he's got a little. Let me see. Let me pull up this picture right here. This face he's got. He's like, this is just how it is, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, did you guys think that was silly, or what's going on with that?
Yes, it was silly, but at the same time, I loved it. I was eating it up. It was awesome.
All right. I guess I get some comments from Vlad. Vlad, you go ahead. What do you think of this angle?
The video package was unbelievably great. I loved every minute of the video package. It was hilarious on all levels, dude. I laughed so hard.
A lot of great imagery. So this guy was blackballed by his jealous enemies, and somehow and what's his name? Pat McAfee said the reason we've never heard of him is because he was so underground.
yeah, way underground. He wrestled in God knows where the last 20 years. But anyways, no, I thought it was hilarious. The match was cool, and the whole thing afterwards with Ray and Dragon Lee, and then Chad coming in with like coughing, whatever. That was all right. But the video package is the thing that really sticks out. That was great. That was tremendous. And yeah, I mean, offensive, no. But I mean, obviously, I don't think this should be offensive. I don't think it's anything to be that offended about.
Well, a lot of people are offended at the fact of the renaming of the Gulf of America
right
from Mexico, and he is from the Gulf of hailing from the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
It's meant to stick into people's craws because obviously we try to stay away from politics on the show, but President Trump changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and somehow on Google Maps it's listed as the Gulf of America. I don't know how. I guess somehow they're in with those people or something, and
possibly Google, maybe. But I don't really know.
So he's from the Gulf of America, which. I
mean, okay, yes. It's not the best time to say something like that, but at the same time, it's supposed to be tongue in cheek. It's wrestling after all. You could have a little fun with it. It's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to get. If you're offended by this, then dude, you have to have a lot thicker skin. I'm sorry.
I know.
Then you're not really ready for. You're not really ready for the world if you're offended by this.
We'll go to our next topic. Let's see. I'm going to topic number 3. I guess is from SmackDown here. All right. So once again, reminder to the audience out there: if you want our full SmackDown review, we got a thumbs up, thumbs down blog post already made with me and Vlad and Robert giving our thoughts on every storyline from this past Friday night, which is a couple of nights ago now, as we are recording this on a Sunday. So, storyline number 5, as I skip through all these other things that happened on this show, on this 3-hour slog that is freaking SmackDown. But CM Punk, okay, so CM Punk, I guess we got the announcement that this triple threat match is going to be the main event, which is CM Punk's like freaking dream come true, right? He's been dying to main event WrestleMania for some reason since he was a little boy or something. I don't know. Anyway, so the contract signing as it went for this 3-way. I guess I'll run through some slides, show you guys how it went down. With first Seth and Roman were there. Roman had to sit and listen to Seth, and then CM Punk came out, signed the contract. And Paul Heyman came up to him and gave him the news that this is going to be the main event, gave him a kiss. And I think this enraged Seth Rollins, right? Is that what happened? That he was mad that he doesn't want Punk to have that accolade of being a WrestleMania main event.
Hold on. Did he really sign the contract? I thought he was looking through it and then Roman Reigns had to tell him like where to sign, and he told Paul Heyman to tell him like what he's looking for is there. I don't remember him actually signing it though, if I remember correctly. I'll have to rewatch it, but I don't remember him actually signing the contract.
I'm sure it got signed, but
Okay.
if I'm wrong, I didn't get any indication that the contract wasn't signed. This shit is done. This is a done deal, right, Vlad?
Yeah.
This
It's a done deal.
This is gonna happen. And then at the end, I guess, in Vlad's comments on our review post, he made a comment that it kind of ended kind of clunkily.
The whole thing was kind of clunky. The whole segment was a little clunky.
Yeah, so he just looked at Roman and he said, "By the way, this isn't my favor. This favor thing, man. I'm so sick of this freaking favor. Who cares about what your favor is that he owes you?" Okay, so Paul Heyman still owes him a favor. Good. Anyways, ratings. Let's see what we got. Robert's the only one out of the three of us who gave this 2 thumbs up. I gave it a thumbs up. Vlad gave it a thumbs up. I liked it. Vlad liked it. Robert really liked it. I mean, the names involved are very star-studded. This is a very star-studded triple threat match. All right, so we'll start with Robert since he gave this the highest rating. I'll put 5 minutes on the clock for SmackDown today. Let's see what you got. Robert, give it to us.
Yeah, I did like it a lot because, well, first of all, when Paul Heyman was mentioning to CM Punk that this you get to main event WrestleMania, and then Seth Rollins' reaction to that was just hilarious. He went on a tirade, and which I thought was funny, is like, because technically that would mean Seth Rollins is also in the main event of WrestleMania. I don't know why he would be so upset, because he himself would be in that same said main event. But okay, but I thought it was really hilarious, mainly because of the way Seth Rollins reacted to it. And then I mean, I thought CM Punk was gonna be happy with that, but it turns out that wasn't what he really wanted. Now, I kind of just wish that he specified. I think I know what it is that he wants, but I wish he specified it on that segment what it is that he wanted, like a title match or whatever. But still, I still enjoyed it for what it was. Now, I do think it felt rushed at the end because the credits were rolling, but it was still good for what it was.
All right, then, Vlad, let's see what you got. You got any thoughts about this? You gave it a thumbs up?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but yeah, there was some clunky moments during it, and even Roman was like, "Hey man, we're on TV here. Are you guys just gonna sit here for and stare at this thing for the next 5 minutes? Stare at the contract?" But anyways, despite that, it was a good segment. But I'm a little like, okay, this guy has had a WrestleMania match with the Undertaker, but he's still. Like, I don't know, like, he really wants this. Like, the main event doesn't always. It's not the biggest thing. I'm sorry. Like, if you have a match with Undertaker at WrestleMania, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest match he's ever had, as far as I'm concerned. So even if he has this triple threat that's going to main event night one, that's not as big as facing the Undertaker at WrestleMania. I'm sorry. So
here he is crying when he finds out the news.
This whole obsession.
Look at him getting teary-eyed.
if he was fighting Cody for the title, I'd say that's a bigger thing, maybe. But in this case, it's a triple threat match that's probably been the main event night one. It's not as big as some of the WrestleMania moments that he's had before, or at the very least, the one I just mentioned. So I'm really not understanding this completely, or his side of it as far as that goes. But I'm also kind of with Robert. I'm sick of, or maybe who said that? Maybe Keon said it. Sick of this whole favor that's owed. Just dude, get it out. What is it? Like, what is going on? Why are you guys just playing coy? Just tell us what it is already. Like, what the hell, dude? And then ended with him just saying that, and then the show goes, to black. Didn't really like that. Thought it was kind of a weird editing choice because obviously SmackDown was they taped it because it was in Europe and whatever, they had time to do whatever. But if they had time to do whatever they wanted with it, and this was the best they could come up with, that segment must have been a goddamn disaster in reality. When it aired live, and this is what they could muster to get them to show to the viewers. But anyways, overall cool.
They wanted it to end like that, right? When he said, "This isn't the favor, the favor, the favor." Man, this favor thing, it should be. Sorry to interrupt you, Vlad, but it should be something private between them. Like, handle it in the back. You know, one day they'll be like, "All right, I got my title match. That was the favor." Some bullshit like that. Like,
No. They should. I disagree. They should reveal it live because and make it part of an angle. But I don't think, or make it part of some sort of angle. But they would already do it already and get to it. You know.
Well, one more thing I want to add that I just remembered right now. Well, yeah, and I do agree with Vlad. They should make it public since, you know, the favor itself was brought up publicly. But the other thing is, when it was mentioned that this would be the main event, I immediately thought, okay, it has to be the main event of night one. And if that's the case, I prefer that as the main event over Jey Uso versus Gunther personally.
Yeah.
And I was like, so in a way, I was like happy about that too. But well, we'll see what happens.
All right. SmackDown. There was a lot of other things that happened on SmackDown too. I guess since we got a second, I could just scroll through this for 33 seconds. Jacob Fatu, huh? That's another thing. I don't want to see this match. I'm so dreading this. It's going to happen, though, unfortunately. Jacob and Solo.
What, you think at WrestleMania or when?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it doesn't have to. It could be a storyline that bleeds until after WrestleMania, but... Yeah. What else? Jimmy Uso. You know, I kind of like Jimmy Uso a little better than Jey Uso in terms of his persona. Personally.
I've been saying that.
Yeah. I don't know why it was Jay that got the push. Well, he got over with that dance he does, but Jimmy, I think, is so hilarious. But anyways, for the rest of our SmackDown review, we're out of time for SmackDown. Let's move on to... By the way, I'm sorry, I didn't finish that sentence. But for the rest of our SmackDown review, go to our blog post in the description below. We got to move on to Dynamite. I got one angle from Dynamite here to discuss. It's the MJF stuff. So... Once again, just like the other stuff, we have a blog post for this episode of Dynamite. Me and Vlad and Robert reviewed everything, but what was this one? Storyline number 3. Let's go down to storyline number 3, MJF. So MJF was ready to accept MVP's offer to join the Hurt Syndicate, right? Here's the card. He's like, I've thought about it, and he's like, I think I want to be in the business of hurting people, which last week we talked about this, and you guys were like, I'm not seeing it. And I was like, I'm seeing it. So it was going to happen. And then he reached out to shake MVP's hand, and Lashley came out and ripped up MJF's business card, and it got all tense for a second. And MVP's like, hey, man, you know, well, calm down here. Everyone calm down. It was kind of funny because it looked like it was going to turn into a fight, but MVP was like so calm and cool. I thought it was so cool how they did this scene. I'll just give it away. I love this scene. I thought this was everyone involved. All 4 of these people are so awesome. This was so top-notch. I freaking love this scene. I thought there was nothing wrong with it. In a bubble or not in a bubble, this was great to me. And then they had that segment later in the show where they aired it out, and it looks like MVP is the only one who wants MJF in this group, and the other 2 are like, what the hell is this? They think it's weird. they're like,
he is white after all.
They're like, you guys. And I'm like, no, this is going to work. MVP's like, you don't understand. This guy's awesome. We want this guy on our side. So, reviews. Let's go down a little bit. Let's see. I got my heart, so there's my plus 3 points on my Dynamite review. Vlad and Robert also a thumbs up. So, not as enamored by this scene as I was. I thought the work was awesome. Okay, who did I start with last? Let me see. I'll start with Vlad this time. Go ahead. I got 5 minutes on the clock for AEW. Let's make it count.
Yeah, it was a good segment. I enjoyed it. Here's where it's all leading to, because I'm not really clear yet. Because for sure, the best thing about AEW lately, the Hurt Syndicate, they've been top notch, as Keanu has said. They've been great in their role, and they're legitimate. Like, people like them across the board. Like, AEW fans like them, but even wrestling fans like them, you know? Like, that are non-AEW fans. They respect these guys. These guys are great. MJF is a tremendous talent, and I'm cool that he's working with these guys. obviously his booking has been. We've questioned his booking thoroughly the last year and a half, 2 years, basically. I'm curious where it's all going. Like, I don't know yet. So I can't really give it like a heart because I don't know where it's all leading to. But it's cool that he's working with these guys, and I hope that his booking improves. And there's something to this, but I don't know yet. I have to give it more time. But yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it.
All right. Robert, also, you on our rating system gave it a +1, liked it. I'm at +3 on mine. So any thoughts you have about this? Let's see what you got.
Okay, so when MJF accepted the offer only for the rest of the Hurt business, basically interrupting it, not liking this deal. At first, to me, it felt like a cop-out because, everybody wanted to know if MJF was going to join or not, right? And then I felt like this was kind of like a cop-out move. So, like, it does answer the question of what MJF's decision was, but they're not really fully committing to it. That was my initial reaction. But then the scene afterwards where the Hurt business were discussing it with each other, I felt like, okay, this could be intriguing. I mean, we'll see where this goes, but okay, at least there's some intrigue here. It's fine. I feel like this is kind of a distraction towards MJF's main goal of going after the title, right? Okay, so I play a lot of video games, so like to kind of make an analogy, this feels like a side quest. The main story is trying to get that title back, but stories like this feels like more like a optional side quest. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
But yeah, I mean, it was fine. I still liked it enough to give it at least one thumbs up.
All right, yeah, so regular old thumbs up from Robert. Well, yeah, so considering AEW booking, it's hard to predict where it's going to go. It could go somewhere, or it could go nowhere. They could just cut it off like they did with Jeff Jarrett, or they could actually put him in the Hurt Syndicate. Who the fuck knows? I'm interested to see where it goes.
I will say it could connect back to the world title, like if he joins them and they help him win the championship.
Okay. But if that's the case, then it was worth going this direction. It ultimately leads to something. Yeah,
I agree. If it does lead to him winning the title with the help of the Hurt Syndicate, that would be a pretty good angle. But there's a lot of stuff you could do with something like that. But okay, we'll see though.
I personally want it to happen, and I think it's gonna happen. I said it last week, and I'm saying it again this week. I think MJF is gonna be in the Hurt Syndicate. On Collision, he had
an official member of the team, like official.
Yes, definitely. I think it's gonna happen, man. On Collision, he what did he do? They showed him throwing out the first pitch at a Mets game or something.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
He kind of threw a jab. He threw a jab at Lashley, saying, "Yeah, Lashley's from New York too, but they didn't ask him, but they asked me." But he's like, "But Lashley's still great. He's still a great guy, So they're showing that he's still trying to be nice, trying to get in with that, trying to nudge his way in, maybe have them let their guard down. So I think it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna lead to MJF winning the title. I think he said that. He said in his one promo that that Moxley has been running roughshod and he has a crew, so he might need a crew. You know what I mean? So maybe this is where they were thinking when he cut that promo, that they were headed in this direction. So okay, that's one thing that I really, really wanted to talk about, and I put it as a main topic on our show today, but that's it from AEW. Everything. We'll have some more maybe in our honorable mentions if at the end of the show, real quick, maybe some AEW stuff. But if you want to see what we thought of every storyline from Dynamite, sorry, I'm distracted with my doggy here, trying to give her some treats. But the link to our full review is in the description below. So me and Vlad and Robert meticulously went through this, studied the whole episode, and gave careful ratings for every single storyline. And that's all there for you lovely Malapert Smart fans. All you have to do is just subscribe. All right, next storyline. I think we're done. I will make a note. Not very detailed. We're not gonna talk about NXT or TNA or Evolve here on this show, but I will say that I did review that on my own, all three of them. Well, actually, Robert does NXT with me. So if anyone is interested in our NXT or TNA Impact or Evolve reviews, I put our reviews from last week in the description below as well. Some interesting stuff there. Stephanie Vaquer, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Robert? Stephanie Vaquer. Double champion.
La Primera.
Yeah, man. She's the best. She's the best.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there's some interesting stuff. Ricky Saints also, Vlad. I don't know if you've been following what's going on with Ricky Saints. What's her name? Stevie Turner. She was named general manager of Evolve. Did you see that, Robert?
I don't know what that is.
No, I didn't see that.
What happened with Ricky Saints?
Ricky Saints is feuding with the North American champion Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears won the title. So he's finally a WWE champion at the age of 44.
That's an old AEW. Wait, Shawn Spears won what? Oh, the North American title, you said?
Yes, the NXT North American title. Yeah, he even told, I think he made a joke to Ricky Starks. He said, if it doesn't work out for you here, you can always go back to, he's like, oh, no, you can't. So,
yeah, that's true. Probably cannot.
All right. Well, let's go along. I think we're moving on to our retro talk. Cool. Yes. So we're done with our modern review stuff. Thankfully, we knocked it out in like half an hour. So this is Buried Alive pay-per-view. So we've been covering the WWF since SummerSlam in 1996. So that we have a playlist of our series that we've been doing called WWF post SummerSlam 1996. So we've reviewed every single show since then, which was concurrently the same shows that we've been reviewing on WCW. So we had another series called WCW after Hogan turned to the dark side. And we've been doing this whole period from July to October in 1996. So I want to catch up to where we were in WCW. That's my plan. So in the next couple weeks, we will be caught up to where we were in our WCW series. And then from there, we will start a new series for specifically the Monday Night Wars. So this series will be done in a couple weeks, just so you know. So we're going to do Buried Alive tonight. We've been headed in this direction for quite some time. For about a month, I think, we've been doing the build-up to this. The very first Buried Alive match. It's incredible when you think about it. I mean, isn't it? Someone's going to be buried alive. Like, is there? You guys have any thoughts about this? Just, I know it's funny to think about now. Like, it just seems normal. But
True.
weren't there people back then, especially like kids and some older adults, who were thinking, like, is someone actually going to get buried alive here? Like, how the fuck is this going to work? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts about that before we delve into this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what I thought of it as a kid. I just thought wrestling was crazy, so I just probably went with it. You know, I don't know. I mean, how old was I in '96? 8, 9? I don't know. So I probably was just like thinking, like, okay, this is wild, but wrestling's kind of crazy like this, and why not? So I don't know. I didn't think like, no, there's no way this could not happen. I mean, we've seen the Undertaker specifically be burned alive in a casket or whatever. So why couldn't he be buried? I said to myself probably as a kid, like, yeah, sure, he got buried. But he's alive, no problem. Like, you know, he'll be fine. Buried alive, burned in a casket, it's all the same.
Robert, any thoughts about the general premise of a Buried Alive match for the first time? This is the first one.
At that time, honestly, everything that I was watching in wrestling would mesmerize me at that point, because I forgot how old I was, but like I was just mesmerized by all everything that happened, and then this was a first for me to see something a match like this take place. So I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. That's all I can remember from that time.
All right, so I'm going to play you guys some clips from, not from the pay-per-view, but from Livewire first, which was the day before, where they're talking about this match. So Sonny and Todd Pettingill are the hosts of this show, and I have a review of this episode of Livewire if anyone's interested. I actually watched the whole thing. But in my 7th storyline, The Buried Alive match is coming up, and they actually start talking about what it might entail. So here's a clip for you guys. I'm going to play. Hold on, let me take this picture of Okada off. The Continental Champion. Here's a clip from WWF Livewire, guys.
There's Paul Bearer, I don't like him.
Oh, this match is unbelievable. Think about this. All those truckloads of dirt.
Tons and tons of dirt will be carted into the Market Square Arena. They're going to build a grave right there in the middle of the arena, and someone's going to get buried 6 feet under.
You know what? They're doing it right now. They're doing it right now.
Yes,
that tombstone we've been showing you with the faces of Mankind and the Undertaker is being put right at the head of that gravestone.
That's
that will
right.
mark the spot. Imagine. Put yourself in the position of one of these WWF superstars. You're laying there, and you're being covered with dirt. This is a non-sanctioned matchup. If you miss it tomorrow night on pay-per-view...
It's non-sanctioned. Okay, so this is going to be a big running theme in my preview of this, that they're going to keep pounding that in our head. This is non-sanctioned, which is something we hear in modern wrestling a lot. Lights out match. You know, the company doesn't take responsibility. But I don't know if this is like an early example of this in wrestling, but let me play another clip from
the way the phones used to look back in the day.
the 90s phones.
Yeah, well, they're actually taking calls here. So here's a phone caller calling about the Buried Alive match, saying, what the fuck is this gonna, what is actually gonna happen here?
Start. Back to the phones we go. Let's talk to Sean in Michigan. You were on Livewire.
Hey, Todd, how you doing?
Good, man. What's happening?
Hi,
I just
Tom.
want to know how they could have this match between Undertaker and Mankind. I mean, someone could seriously get injured, and I think the WWF should award the winner of this match a chance at the title shot.
Well, let me tell you, the reason we're going to have this matchup is because both these guys wanted it. It is a non-sanctioned matchup here in the World Wrestling Federation. That means the WWF is only providing the time. They're not taking any responsibility at all for what's going to happen here. We're going to talk a whole lot.
That's such bullshit. Providing the time, not taking yeah, they're providing the ring, they're recording it, yet they're not taking responsibility for what
They're even providing the dirt. They're even providing the dirt and the shovel. But hey, if somebody dies, we're not involved.
All right, one more clip from Livewire. To really pound it home to the people, hey, that someone's going to fucking die here, I guess.
It's a non-sanctioned matchup
right.
from the World Wrestling Federation.
The World Wrestling Federation does not want to be responsible for this match. They don't want to be responsible for anything that happens between The Undertaker and Mankind.
Think about being buried alive.
Wow.
Imagine laying there in that hole 6 feet under,
Jesus,
dirt
Todd.
falling down all over your face.
He's actually selling this match, man. We got to sell some pay-per-views.
So it's unsanctioned. You guys don't want any part of it. But I have this cool shirt.
What's up with Paul Bearer's face being on the moon? What the?
What that is actually.
Oh my god, this is awesome. That's a great shirt. That might be that should be our thumbnail, basically, for this for this podcast we're doing today. All right, let me see if there's anything more of this.
The Undertaker has got to be thinking about the betrayal of Paul Bearer. Mankind, I don't know what runs through his mind.
Think of the weight of the dirt on your chest, and you're gasping for air, and you can't breathe.
The amazing thing that the only person who can help you, the only person who can save you, is the person who put you in that hole to begin with, and you know neither Mankind or The Undertaker is going to help the other one once they're in that hole.
No, I don't think so. You want to take a call, Todd?
Let's do that.
All right. So that's Livewire. Interesting stuff. Very rare gem footage, I would say. Let me jump to a clip now from WWF Superstars. So this is going to be Jim Ross also criticizing Vince McMahon for not taking responsibility for this match, for it being a non-sanctioned match. So here's good old JR. This is during Superstars, the morning of the match, and it's Razor Ramon, quote unquote, who was having a match. But let's listen to JR talk about this.
Well, I'll tell you something, my heart is beating faster and faster thinking about tonight's pay-per-view matchup. You know, I want to ask McMahon, man-to-man, face-to-face, why he shirked his responsibility and didn't sanction. Oh, my! Wait a minute! Inside cradle! Almost a 3 count there by the pugnacious Bob Holly. So what about McMahon now? What are you talking about? Well, you know, it's non-sanctioned the Buried Alive match. Hey, we don't want anything to do with it. We'll take the money, but we don't want any responsibility. Fallaway slam That is vintage razor from
So Jim Ross, who's in the middle of a feud with Vince McMahon here, as we'll discuss in a little bit, as he's had issues with his boss. So he makes light that, hey, Vince is making money off this, but he doesn't want to be responsible or sanction the match, right? So that was kind of cool. I thought that was like kind of realistic commentary there. So let me see. While I'm looking for my next clip, if anyone wants to comment on any of these clips I'm playing, please feel free to jump in, because I know you guys didn't see these, so this is brand new to you. No comments. No comments.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's as realistic as you say, because there's no way anybody would be able to. If you have a problem like with anything that's going on like this, you wouldn't be able to go on air and just say it. You would probably say it in the back or whatever. But I mean, as part of this angle with Jim Ross kind of being a heel, it's all right. I mean, who really wants to? I don't know. Whoever wanted to boo Jim Ross, it's a weird thing, to be honest. But okay.
All right, the next clip I got is from the Free For All pre-show.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so this is the right before the show is about to go on the air. They had a show on USA called Free For All, which is like their 0 hour, I guess.
I remember.
Yeah, so what's his name? Undertaker cuts a promo literally like a minute before you have to buy the pay-per-view. So they're trying to sell pay-per-views till the last freaking second. So the lights start going out in the arena, and the Undertaker's voice comes out over the loudspeaker.
Mankind has done a good sign. All sorts of phenomenal things going on.
Creatures of the night. Are you ready? Tonight, you will witness the end of mankind. I will take his battered carcass and plant it in that cemetery that lays there before you. And I will cover him until he is no more. And then the feast shall begin. Creatures, are you ready?
Indeed, we
The
are.
hounds of hell are now baying for your soul, mankind. The end is at hand. I'm coming for you, mankind. I'm coming. You will never rest in peace.
Only on pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen, and only.
There you go. What a way to sell a pay-per-view, huh? Right before it goes on the air. That's awesome. That's the best you could do, I think. All right. Let's see. Before I jump to the pay-per-view, any comments on the pre-show?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, obviously, yeah. I mean, where are you finding this stuff? Somebody's actually recorded this as part of the pay-per-view as well, or how are you even getting this?
I found all these clips on YouTube, like just randomly. Yeah, I just.
Oh, this is a YouTube clip. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, I mean,
You guys enjoying any of these rare clips or what? Is this interesting to you? I feel like you guys as historians have got to think this is kind of cool stuff. But
yeah, no, I did think that was cool. I did think that was pretty
That
cool.
one was, yeah.
okay, interesting. All right. So now let's jump to the match. We're Buried Alive finally. So here's our Buried Alive review, our blog post, which all three of us watched the show again today. So it was the first ever Buried Alive match, and I am going to not go over it in detail. I'm sure this is actually on Peacock, so you guys can watch this whole thing if you want to watch it. We're just doing a review here. But, I do want to play the beginning of the show. So, let's see. The opening was Vince McMahon is on commentary with Jim Ross and King, which we'll talk about the significance of who's on commentary in the next storyline with Jim Ross. But for this one, I'll just play some of Vince McMahon talking up this match coming up.
An extraordinary event to take place right here live. Someone is literally going to be buried alive, King. I'm telling you, McMahon, I wouldn't want to be in it. I wouldn't want to even be involved in it, but I can't wait to see it. Mankind or The Undertaker? This is it tonight. Why don't you have the dirt on the face?
I wouldn't want to be in it. I wouldn't want to be involved in it, but I can't wait to see what happens. Oh my God. King Lawler. Okay, so as soon as the show starts, they're tripping about it. So Vlad said in his review this was a one-match show, right?
Yeah.
That everything else was bullshit, which is funky because it wasn't much of the build in the 4 weeks leading up to this in the Raws. They were just like a couple minutes each was devoted to this match. So it was just based on word of mouth on the fact that it's going to be a buried alive match. They're like, buy the show, buy the pay-per-view. This is going to be a buried alive match. You got to see it. You got to see it. All right.
Well, it's also called Buried Alive, in your house buried alive. It's centered around this whole thing.
All right, so let's see some slides and some highlights, I guess, of what happened. There's Mankind. There's The Undertaker. There's a fog, and the match starts. Starts off hot. Well-worked match, I guess. Any comments on the work, if you guys want to give?
I thought it was good.
Heck yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, these two guys are. As far as workers, they're great. Great. Yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, these guys are really good. They're great wrestlers.
Yes.
Here's the Undertaker flying off the top rope. Let's see what other images we got. Well, they tease. Okay, so they go over to the cemetery place. They teased going over there like a couple times before they actually get to the end of the match. So they went over there, then they fought back to the ring, right? Then here's the Undertaker jumping over the guardrail. His young athletic days.
That's a great point. He was so athletic at this point.
Really athletic big guy. Here's Paul Bearer whacking the Undertaker with the urn, so he gets involved. He officially tries to help Mankind, at least he tries. But let's see, steel chair. Oh, all right, so there's some steel chair stuff from back.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Punch, just a regular punch, man. I mean, if I could just highlight the selling of a punch, like how simple. Just sell, bro. Like, people don't sell these days. They just don't move their freaking head back. These guys were great at it. All right, so let's see. This is where it finally gets to the point. This is the third time they're back up to the gravesite, and Undertaker's the first guy to go in. Oh, the crowd's going crazy, right? So he's the first guy actually to get in there, and Mankind starts dropping dirt on him. All right, so he's got a shovel. That's really hard. To fucking shovel that much dirt, it's gonna take forever. So
yeah,
he was gonna go by himself too. He's like, that was the first attempt. Now they're both in the grave. Kind of funky to be fighting inside your own grave. It's a good idea. Cool imagery here. Nice metaphor. Oh, okay, so I'm wrong. This is the second time. That was the second tease. Then they go back to the ring. All right, so now they're in the ring again. They keep going back and forth. Interesting. All right. They're gonna go a third time back to the ring. All right, this is another chair shot. Whacked him pretty good, the Undertaker there to Mankind's back. Even Paul Bearer's face was like, "Oh my God, the humanity." This was a crazy spot. The Undertaker into the steel steps has Mankind over his back backwards, and I don't know. I thought that was kind of like an extra spot. They've already done so many crazy things. They're having a buried alive match. They didn't need to smash each other into the steel steps, but okay. They're going above and beyond today. It's the main event. They're selling pay-per-views here, right? Tombstone pile driver. All right, I think. Oh, this part kind of impressed me was how the Undertaker actually fucking walked all the way to the back with big ass Mankind over his shoulder. How the fuck did he do that? Strong dude.
Yeah, you have to be really strong.
Choke slam into the grave. So, interesting spot here. Here's a King with the obvious question: are we really gonna do this?
Come on, man, we're not really gonna do this, are we? exactly right.
We're not really gonna bury someone alive, are we? So yeah, King has to be the guy to bring up the literal question, like, are we fucking killing someone here? Even so, what happens is, okay, so here's the semantics of it. Interesting stuff. So the ref, enough dirt has been dropped on him that the ref calls for the bell. It's over, right? You won, Undertaker. All right, you win the buried alive match. And the Undertaker's like, no, fuck this guy. I'm gonna kill him. So he flings the referee away and continues dropping dirt on him, right? So this is where everything goes crazy. And as he's going to kill Mankind, a shovel comes out of the blue and whacks the Undertaker. It's a guy in a mask who literally digs Mankind out. I saw an interview of Mankind today talking about how it felt to be like buried under a bunch, all that dirt, by the way. So this guy comes in, this random ass guy. I guess we'll get your thoughts on the booking of what the fuck they did here. But this guy, he looks like an executioner. That does end up being his name, the Executioner. So he saves Mankind, and then they put Undertaker in there, and they start shoveling dirt on him. And the lights go out, so I assume this is where they switched Undertaker out or something, right? I don't know, but
Probably.
I don't know exactly how they did this. I was trying to figure it out today, but I didn't get any inside scoop on like what the trick was. I assume they just turned out the lights and yanked him out of there and put like a dummy in there or something. So then everyone comes out. So a bunch of wrestlers start pouring out into the ring, or not to the ring, into the gravesite. And some of Bradshaw, for some reason, who hasn't been involved in this at all. Goldust, who has been involved in it. I guess he has had a feud with Undertaker. Triple H, no involvement from Triple H in this whatsoever. They probably just needed a bunch of guys to drop because it was a lot to shovel.
Correct.
So one fan threw a drink. Here's just so you know, there was one guy standing up for the Undertaker saying, "This is wrong. This is wrong." He threw a drink at them. And sorry, Vlad, did I interrupt you? Were you going to say something, a comment on any of this?
Yeah, just there was a whole bunch of heels, I guess, that just decided to gather up and try to kill the Undertaker.
Yeah, they all don't like the Undertaker. So, I mean, it is interesting though, because I think Bradshaw does have a feud with the Undertaker at some point. Does have involvement with him. Actually, he's aligned with them, and then he feuds with them later on.
Oh, you mean down the line? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Down the line, yeah. Triple H too, obviously. So all these people do have some kind of. Looking back on it, it's kind of interesting historically that these people were involved in this the way they were. And then so they completely bury him. For anyone just listening to this, there's just a mound of dirt there. And they did the job. The job is done. So Paul Bearer is like happy, and they all walk off. And I guess they cut to the back where they introduced the Executioner. And funny thing Mankind said, he said he's like an angel on my shoulder. I don't know if you guys caught it.
I don't remember seeing this in the show, but okay.
This wasn't on the Peacock copy.
Yeah, this wasn't on the Peacock show.
Oh, yeah? All right, I'll play this.
I don't know. Yeah.
Let's see. It's a pretty good promo from Mankind afterwards. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
All right, watch along for a little clip here.
Undertaker. Don't bury me alive! I don't
Fucker tried to bury me alive.
I don't want maggots eating up my lips! But he tried to kill me, Uncle Paul! So before I go on, it worked! Please, Uncle Paul, I gotta know. Tell me I'm not to blame. It's not your fault! It's not your fault! He's gone! And now, I'd like to present to you our man in red and black, the Executioner! Oh, yes! The Executioner! You just saw him at the graveside! And now, here he is! Uncle Paul, he's like an angel on my shoulder. Looking out
There he is. Terry Gordy. I've heard the name. I've heard the name. I've heard Jim Cornette mention it on his podcast many times. But okay. All right. Ratings. Let's see. Oh wait, there's one thing I didn't show. I forgot. My bad. One last thing. It's the Undertaker at the end. The lightning came down, right? Did you guys see this part? Was this part?
Yes,
Yeah. This was part of it.
This was definitely part of it.
Okay, what the heck? So the lightning comes up and the Undertaker's hand raises through the floor, so he's not dead, which is pretty awesome. That's the most awesome thing ever.
And Vince McMahon going crazy as the show ends.
Yes. All right, now we can do our ratings for this match. I went in detail. For the rest of the show, I won't go that much in detail, but of course, my mind was blown that someone got buried alive and they still lived. So 10 points for me. 1 point from you guys. Thumbs up from you guys. All right, you guys like this. Okay, my mind blown rating is a little tongue in cheek, obviously, as a retrospect. Maybe at the time, my mind could have been blown from this if I'd seen it live. But I think it was well done. I think it was a pretty wild idea. It's pretty great wrestling, man. This is pretty legendary. So, all right, comments. Let's go with Vlad first. Thumbs up.
Well, there's been a lot of amazing ideas based on the Undertaker character that they could do because of his whole, character. Buried alive matches, casket matches, boiler room brawls. I'm trying to think. There's been so many different things that he's had to do with the gimmick and with the character. This was just one of the many crazy ideas that they came up with. And I thought this was cool. I thought this was a good match. And the idea was unique. And how they did everything and the ending sequence is definitely engraved in my mind with this whole arm kind of sticking out and the thunderbolt or whatever the hell that was. As a kid, I was probably going crazy. I was, loving it, But in retrospect, I can't say I loved it, but I definitely enjoyed it. And that's why I gave it a thumbs up. So cool stuff for sure.
All right, Robert, let's see what you think all these years later. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, same thing as a kid. I love this. Looking back at it now, it's like, it was still good. Though one thing I didn't like was, that one scene where everybody came in and started, pouring dirt on top of Undertaker until it was pretty much at the top. That part for me kind of dragged a little bit. It went a little long, but the rest of it was good. I liked it.
All right, cool. Buried alive. Interesting. All right, so that goes down into the Malapert's Mark podcast history books of something that we've reviewed in depth. Cool. All right, so let me go through the rest of the card. I also got a couple of cool clips to play for you guys from the weekend before this match as well. But the other thing I want to review slightly in depth, I'll play a couple clips, is the JR stuff. So Jim Ross, this drama of Jim Ross stems from the whole Diesel and Razor Ramon thing. And Jim Ross has been rebellious. He brought in a fake Razor, a fake Diesel, and he's been, on the outs with Gorilla Monsoon, the president. So that's the drama that started there. So we've been covering that storyline, the fake Diesel, fake Razor storyline, and this stems from this. So I'll put a link to that playlist in the description that we've been covering the whole thing. But I want to start today on Livewire, again, Vlad, because they announced on there that Jim Ross has been taken off commentary. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but they made the announcement on the Livewire show. So this is where I found out for the first time. Because I don't know where exactly they announced it for the first time, but I found out from Todd Pettingill. So here's how it sounded again. Back to Livewire.
Tomorrow morning on Sunday Morning Superstars, you will hear from Jim Ross for the very first time. He'll tell you how he feels about being replaced on Raw by Vince McMahon. Vince is back on Raw, and Jim Ross is none too happy about it. You are watching live.
All right, so they announced it on Raw, which is not tonight's show, not the Buried Alive show, but tomorrow, the day after, Jim Ross is not supposed to be on commentary. So we do get comments from JR on on the Superstar show. So on the morning of, here's a comment from Jim Ross talking about complaining about Vince again during the Razor Ramon match. So hold on one second, guys.
So electric tomorrow night, but I'm sure that Vince McMahon will be the one that'll do the interview instead of me, the one that's bringing Bret Hart back to the WWF.
Then you can bet I won't be any talk. I'll be all action, Ross, when it comes to Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I can't wait to be sitting right there at ringside calling your match. I know the hold. McMahon hasn't learned a new hold in 25 years. Oh, what a move. Oh, my.
I mean, you know, Jim Ross, when I was in the ring wrestling, you never did the color commentary for one of my...
All right. Sorry, as my dog is barking up a storm. But Laura, relax. All right. So there's JR lamenting that Vince McMahon is going to take his spot as lead commentator, and he's not going to stand for it. He says he's going to be there anyways, right? So when the pay-per-view starts, JR is on commentary, but all this is hanging over him, right? So that's why there's all this tension about it as the show starts, and it's a major angle throughout the pay-per-view. So I'll start playing a clip from the show opening, which we watched a second ago when Vince and King were talking up the Buried Alive match. So right when they cut to Jim Ross, his microphone's not working. And that sets off a storyline that goes off through the whole night where his mic isn't working. So let's play a little bit of this. Listen to it.
Come on, have a mic. You guys got mics, I don't have a mic. What's going on?
A number of things have already happened in the Free For All, ladies and gentlemen. Got a mic here. Take this mic.
Well, I got a lot to say. As a matter of fact, we're ready to go.
So this happens throughout the show continuously, where for some reason Jim Ross's microphone just doesn't work. It keeps cutting out. Here's another example.
Are you going to see the pedigree? Is my mic working now or not? I can hear you.
I can certainly hear you. And what about the fact again?
Here's another one. I'm skipping around. I'm only going to play a couple of these. There was like a handful of them.
I can't hear if my damn mic. Hey,
Please, we are having some audio difficulty with Mr. Ross's microphone.
How come you?
So this is during Stone Cold's match coming up again. So it surely seems like the production crew is fucking with JR because the microphone always works, right?
Wait a minute. Are we working with McMahon or just?
Nothing wrong with his microphone at all.
What do you think about this, Vlad? Are they making this seem like they're screwing with him or what?
Yeah, that's what I took from it. There's only his microphone didn't work. Lawler's and McMahon's worked just fine. So if there was an issue with the microphones, it would have been across the board.
Is anybody?
So, yeah,
Damn it!
that's what I took.
I can't work.
Let's play attention. Arm drag takedown. Stone Cold Steve Austin asserting.
All right, so JR gets increasingly frustrated as the night goes on, and let's see.
Hey, you know, Jim, you might want to contact Clarence Mason because there may be some kind of lawsuit involving this deal with you tonight. I'm beginning to agree with you. I think there's something fishy going on with your headset. Oh, there's something fishy going on.
You being the technical advisor and all of that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Owen Hart, along with...
So Vince McMahon, there's the first snide comment he makes at Jim Ross. So he is in on this. So this is literally the first angle that we've covered that Vince McMahon is involved in. So he's involved in this angle now. He is fucking with Jim Ross. So
That's
Vince
true.
McMahon has officially entered the Malapert's Mark podcast lore as we are reviewing a Vince McMahon storyline here. Okay, so here's where it comes to a head, and I think Jim Ross is going to get frustrated after the third match of the night and head to the ring and cut a promo on Vince.
Wait a minute.
Sitting over here trying to do the very best job I can.
Let's go back up to JR, who's in the ring. What is this?
And McMahon he's got his butt kissers to turn my microphone off so I can't be heard on television. This guy right here. I'm not going to bore you or go into this story again of how he fired me twice and tried to ruin my life. I'm not going to go into that. But I am going to tell you one thing.
What is going on here?
That tomorrow night on Raw, thanks to good old JR, I'll guarantee you, I promise you, that Bret Hart is going to be live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I Promise you that.
He's taking credit to bringing Bret Hart back to
And
make
it's
an
not
announcement.
because he's coming back because you want him to come back. You didn't go to South Africa to talk to him. I went to South Africa. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? That's a yes or no for you.
You were in South Africa, JR. Yes, you were.
The issue is this. Tomorrow night, Bret Hart has got a lot to say. He said he was going to come back with a shovel because he's going to bury some people. Bret Hart has got a lot to say to you fans. He's got a lot to say to maybe Vince McMahon. And he's
What does
got
he mean
some
by
more
that?
things, I think, for the World Wrestling Federation champion. Bottom line, Bret Hart will be uncensored tomorrow night. Now, seeing as though the egotistical maniac who owns this company has screwed up the microphones, and he talks out of both sides of his mouth anyway. You need two microphones. You take this one. I'll see you tomorrow night on Raw.
Good catch, Vince. Here, King.
There you go. So there's an arrogant look on Vince McMahon's face. He's not upset at all that Jim Ross left. So this is the story. Actually, was there one more thing that happened later on in the show? I think Jim Ross was in the back where there was an interview being conducted, and JR crashed. He crashed the interview
with Psycho Sid.
With Psycho Sid, and he crashed the interview, and he wanted to check if the microphone worked.
Thank you, Sid. Go ahead, Doc. Good job. Thanks, Doc. No problem with the microphone then. No problem at all. And as a matter of fact,
Yeah, so Jim Ross went to that interview. He's like, you see, so your microphone works. So it's only my microphone that wasn't working. All the other microphones are working. All right, so that's our storyline today. So the Jim Ross storyline, it's going to come to a head tomorrow, I guess, when he's going to show up for work when he's not supposed to be there. I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know what happened. But for this angle today, let's see what our ratings were for this. Thumbs up from me and Robert. All right, we thought this was good. We both liked it. Vlad with the half thumbs up, I guess. Kind of liked it. Not a very high rating, but something positive for him. Let's start with Robert on this one. Thumbs up. What do you think of JR's storyline today?
That's good. I do think this was 100% a work because if it wasn't, Vince McMahon would have shown a lot more actual, anger and frustration. So he this was all planned out, but it was executed well.
That shows that he's in on it.
Yeah, he's in on it for sure. But it was all executed well, so I enjoyed it.
Okay, all right, Vlad. A little harsher review for you. Let's see what you think.
I mean, it was all right. I'm not harsh. It just was what it was. It was cool, but I bought Jim Ross's anger, but I didn't buy Vince McMahon kind of being nonchalant the whole time as one of his employees is just giving him the business, telling him that he's a piece of shit, basically. A piece of shit boss that's fired him twice before. I don't really think that would. Yeah,
you don't buy that as his way of trying to fuck with JR to get back at him.
Well, yeah, I mean that would be his way, but would he even, if he was really pissed off, he wouldn't even let him broadcast at all, right? Just to say Jim Ross is no longer broadcasting, on Raw or any pay-per-view or whatever, But it was cool. I mean, another thing is, like I said, I don't want to boo Jim Ross. I don't want to hate Jim Ross. So this whole Jim Ross turn heel thing has always been a weird thing for me. So, but this was okay. This was all right.
Okay. Moving along then. My third one, this one I kind of like this one. I want to play you some cool clips I found from this one also. And then after this, we'll probably fly through the rest of the show. So Stone Cold versus Triple H. This was supposed to be Stone Cold versus Savio Vega. Where Savio Vega got injured, I guess, somehow. And Mr. Perfect is involved in this, as I'll explain. But before I talk about this, I want to play some clips again off of this Livewire. This Livewire, I think, was the best episode of Livewire to me. So Stone Cold shows up on Livewire, and he storms in as they are discussing that they're going to have him on the show. Well, first of all, they had a great video package really talking him up on this show. But they said they were going to have him on later in the show, and he storms in. He's like, I don't want to come on later. I want to come on now. So here's how it went.
No excuse. You have to join us on pay-per-view for In Your House.
That's right.
Still to come here, Stone Cold Steve Austin later on the broadcast. We'll talk from him, get his point of view. Also, there's been something I've been wanting to talk to you about since last.
You're not waiting until later on the program to get my ass on TV. Because you bring me up here, you sit me back here in the green room like some jabroni and show half of a match.
No.
Let me tell you what happened, because you know what happened. After I got hit with the flipper, clotheslined over the top rope, I took my carcass off the floor, got back in the ring, whipped the hell out of Shawn Michaels, and then beat Psycho Sid's ass, and you're not going to show that.
No, we're going to talk about that.
Stone Cold says after the show went off the air, he kicked everyone's ass.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Better than me, son, and don't you butt in, honey.
Sorry?
Because the bottom line is, you're not going to come in here and bring Stone Cold in and treat me like a jerk.
No, I
beat the hell out of both guys. Let's set the record straight.
All right, I just wanted to build your appearance throughout the show.
Yeah, you ain't got to build Stone Cold, brother.
Bring you on later.
Right.
Well, there's a camera to tell the people how you feel.
Shut up. I think everybody knows how I feel. I've been shortchanged for 7 years, and I'm fixing to start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Well,
God, my time is shut up. My time has come, and that's the bottom line. Do whatever you want to do.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Take a break.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is here. We will talk to him, and you can too with your faxes and phone calls as Livewire rolls up.
Right.
All right, so I want to listen to Bret. Well, as we've been discussing on this show, he's been running down Bret Hart. So he's going to comment on Bret here, and I think he's going to take a couple of phone calls. So Stone Cold Steve Austin taking some phone calls here with some very interesting questions come up. So I want to play this clip too.
Jumped on his neck, and they carried him out after that, and that's exactly what's going to happen to anybody else I get in the ring with.
Well, let's talk about the Hitman Bret Hart, because you've made no secret how you feel about the legendary Bret Hart.
All right, because he's going to sit there and say, I'm the best there is, I'm the best there was, I'm the best there ever will be, I'm the excellence of execution. Man, I ain't got to invent a bunch of dumb slogans to try to convince myself I'm great. I think everybody out there in TV land turns on the TV, sees Stone Cold, and says, damn right, he's the best there is.
Well, let me ask you, Stone Cold, do you think this Monday Live on Raw, Bret Hart is going to announce his retirement? Or do you think he's coming back to the World Wrestling Federation? Will he be a goodwill ambassador? What do you think Bret Hart's going to do?
Well, if he announces his retirement, he's a very smart man. If he says he's coming back, then I'll retire him. The end result is going to be, if Bret comes back, it's going to be for a very short time, and it might as well be as a goodwill ambassador, because he ain't got what it takes when it comes time to getting in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, Stone Cold, I hate to interrupt you here, but you seem like you have a lot of anger built up inside concerning Bret Hart, but I haven't heard Bret Hart say one word about you. It seems like you don't even cross his mind.
Oh, let me just tell you a little inside story. Bret heard me talking on the pay-per-views. He heard me talking on the TV. He sent me a plane ticket, first class, to fly to Calgary. We went down to the basement, the famous Stu Hart basement, and I whipped his ass for 30 minutes. Put the sharpshooter on it for 10 minutes.
He says he whipped.
I love that. This is a gem of a clip.
Wait, you didn't hear the rest of it. You started laughing. Not only did he whip Bret Hart's ass, he whipped Stu Hart's ass too. Listen. listen.
For 30 minutes. Put the sharpshooter on him for 10 minutes. Then Stu came down. Steve, let go of Bret. So I beat Stu's ass. That's why he don't say nothing about me, because I already got his number. You know, Bret, you know that I'm better than you. But if you want to do it in front of the world, I'll be happy to oblige you, because Stone Cold is the best there is, and ain't no one here can tell me any different.
Obviously, we should just point out we can't confirm what you said about Bret.
Well, it's the truth. You calling me a liar, son?
No, not at all. I just want to take a phone call here. Eva from Mass.
Todd Bettingill's like, that can't be true. But all right, phone calls. Listen to these phone calls. These are some really cool questions.
Massachusetts, you're on Livewire.
Hi, I have a question for Stone Cold.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, first of all, Stone Cold, I really like your style, the no-nonsense approach to wrestling. I think you could go far, except for one thing. I mean, what's with the swearing all the time? I think it kind of indicates a lack of creativity, a lack of imagination, and I think it'll hinder you in your future here in the WWF.
I think if you keep talking to me like that, and if you're in person here, I might hinder your life.
Like he's on
the bottom line is, I say shut up. I say whatever I want, when I want, how I want. As far as you liking my style, I've been around for 7 long years. All of a sudden, someone puts a microphone in front of my face, and everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon. You're all a bunch of mosquitoes, and from now on, that's what I'll refer to you as, mosquitoes, and you're all trying to get on the arm of Steve Austin and suck the blood out because I'm red hot.
This guy's amazing. It's amazing that. Well, I just want to pause. Yeah, pause it real quick. It's amazing that WCW let this guy go because obviously he's an amazing talent. A, B, Vince McMahon put him in some of the worst gimmick you could possibly put him in, and C, they're finally doing something with him here. You could tell now they really are pushing him. Like he's been part of a lot of different things that you could tell that they're invested in the guy, in Steve Austin. So that's cool, and obviously he's tremendous. I mean, this is a gem. This is gold. This is gold.
Oh yeah. Listen to the next phone call. First of all, the lady said his swearing going to hinder him.
No,
he said if you were here, I would hinder your life. What the hell?
Well, I mean, obviously that ended up being wrong. I mean, the swearing is actually what made him. But okay.
Yeah, she was wrong. Okay, the next call's better.
Because I don't need nobody.
Oh, can I take another call?
Take another phone call. Nick from Massachusetts, you're on with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hi, Stone Cold. I'd like to know why you're so arrogant towards everybody in the WWF and you think you're better than everyone when you've never won a title. Also, what's up with that Stone Cold 316 saying?
I've never won a title because everybody you've got here with a belt is scared to look me in the eyes and say, yeah, Stone Cold, I'll give you a shot. I whipped Merrill's ass every time I got in the ring with him. Now he's Intercontinental Champion. You answer me that question.
Well, Stone Cold...
Shawn Michaels, shut up. Okay. Shawn Michaels is the WWF Champion, and he hadn't cared to get in the ring with me either. Why? Because he's scared.
I was just going to point out that you did win the King of the Ring and obviously proved yourself in that matchup.
Yeah.
Right, I have an email here.
Everyone is scared. All right. I'm going to jump to comments on Mr. Perfect because they replayed his thing. Last week we played him arguing with Mr. Perfect on Superstars. Right. So here's some follow-up comments from Brett on Perfect, which pertains to what we're talking about because Perfect is involved in Stone Cold's match tonight.
Oh, you want to do a Mr. Perfect in the World Wrestling Federation?
Well, it seems Stone Cold is not afraid to talk about anyone there.
Why should I be afraid? Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, whatever you want to call him, is 260 pounds of cholesterol stuffed in a bargain basement suit. At one time, son, you were a hell of a talent. But if you think for one split second that you could stay in the ring with me for more than 5 minutes, you're a lot stupider than I thought you were.
Let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow night at In Your House, Buried Alive. Stone.
All right. They talk about Savio Vega, but I don't want to listen to that because he actually drops out of this match. Bret Hart stuff. One last comment on Bret before we move on to the pay-per-view.
And obviously you feel the same way about the Hitman Bret Hart if he were to come back. But I got to believe if Bret does announce that he's coming back live on Raw this week, it'll be for the fans. Mm-hmm. He'll want to come back for the fans. Obviously he is well-loved all over the world.
You know, that's the problem with Bret. He always wants to do everything for the fans. That's the thing. He always cares about everybody else. The bottom line is, Stone Cold never gave a rat's ass about anybody, and that's why I'm at the top right now. I don't need friends. I don't need family. I don't need nobody asking me for my autograph. I know what I am. I'm the best there is. And mark my word, if Bret Hart does come back, I'll kick the hell out of him.
Woo.
There you go. All right, nice appearance on Livewire from Stone Cold. Cool. Vlad obviously made some comments throughout this. You seem like you enjoyed it. Robert, before I move on to the pay-per-view, do you have any comments on that bonus Livewire clip I played?
I like that segment better than the pay-per-view.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Well, on Free For All, on the pre-show, right when the show started, they announced that Savio Vega injured himself. So this is how it sounded. This is kind of looks interesting too, based on how they used to sell stuff like right before shows on pay-per-view back in the day.
All right, right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Psycho Sid against the man they call Vader, and Jerry the King Lawler, Vince McMahon. Well, talk about feeling sorry for someone. Certainly a lot of individuals feeling sorry, unfortunately, for Savio Vega, who has injured himself training for this matchup that was going to take place right here against Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin, however, here on pay-per-view tonight, goes one-on-one with, get this, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Unbelievable, McMahon. Something's got to give. What are we going to see? The Stone Cold Stunner or the pedigree? I can't wait. It's going to be great. Well, of course, the Intercontinental title.
Man, what a salesman. It's going to be great. Gosh. Okay, looking back on it, Triple H versus Stone Cold sounds great. But back then, that didn't sound great. But okay.
Matchup for grabs as well. And the man they call Farooq.
All right, so that's that. Okay, so that's how they made the announcement. Triple H, you guys, when you saw that was on the card for the show that we were watching today, did you guys get excited for that or what?
No.
Yeah, I was really excited. I threw a party and everything. No, obviously, it's nothing to really write home about, for sure.
All right, well, let's go back to Buried Alive in Your House, storyline number 3. This is Triple H filling in for Savio Vega. I got some images. Let's see what I got. Storyline number 3. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys, I'm jumping around to a bunch of clips. Here's Triple H coming out with his escort for the night, I guess. Stone Cold cutting a promo, also talking about Brett. But what's interesting here, I'm not going to play his promo. We played a lot of Stone Cold today. But this was the first time he played the Shattered Glass theme song. You guys notice that when you were listening to this? So his brand new theme song.
Yes, I did notice that.
On this day, Stone Cold. All right, so Stone Cold coming to the ring for a impromptu match against Triple H as Savio Vega. Oh, here's a middle finger from the crowd. Because I don't know if you guys saw that one.
I think I might have missed that one.
It was someone dressed as Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Stone Cold jaw-jacking with some little kid in the freaking audience. Hilarious. Hilarious. Well, here's a guy who's a fan, so one guy's clapping there. Okay. Not everyone hates Stone Cold back. That guy's a smart mark. He appreciates it. But, all right, so here's Kurt Hennig, again, here to steal Triple H's woman. So since Stone Cold is fighting against Triple H, now he's in a way involved with Kurt Hennig, who he had a thing with on Superstars the week before. So Triple H here, pissed off that Kurt Hennig's here to take his woman, and Stone Cold also gets in Mr. Perfect's face. So interesting here to see Stone Cold throw water or a liquid, or first here he begs off Mr. Perfect, and then he throws the liquid in his face, which I guess is something that it seems like Mr. Perfect should want to get him back for. So it seems like this storyline would have continued, but I don't know if we ever get any continuation of Stone Cold and Mr. Perfect here, but very interesting interaction. Mr. Perfect just leaves with the woman, so he lets that go. It's more important here to get the woman, right? Stay focused. So, Triple H, who runs after Mr. Perfect, and the woman gets clocked by Stone Cold, and that's going to lead to a series of moves where Stone Cold wins the match with a Stone Cold Stunner, or a middle finger to the face, and then a Stone Cold Stunner. So a win for Stone Cold. Not really clean, there's a lot of distractions here, and definitely a match that we'll see again in the future. So let's see what we got here as ratings for this early Stone Cold Triple H match with Mr. Perfect involvement. So thumbs up from me and Robert. I guess there was something very interesting about this. I definitely thought it was very interesting. Definitely thought the work was good too. I liked the involvement from Mr. Perfect, the interference, the storyline there, and the fact that Stone Cold was involved with Mr. Perfect on Superstars. I thought that gave this a little bit of weight. So I'll start with Robert since he gave it a thumbs up. Stone Cold here. Any comments on Stone Cold? Anything we've seen today from Stone Cold today?
This was the match was great. I thought the work was really good. I think I don't remember when his neck injury happened. I know it happened much later after this. His style is very much like it's kind of similar, but it's different right now than what it is after the neck injury that he suffered from Owen Hart. I think he became much more of a brawler, but I could see the difference in the work. It was really good. I did enjoy it. The only thing is, while I was watching the match, I was distracted by the whole JR Mike situation. So it was like I was watching the match and I was distracted by what was going on between JR and Vince McMahon at the same time, but still liked it.
All right. That's true. All right, so Vlad, indifferent, nothing from this, looking back on it, that you found worthy to give any points to, huh?
No, not really. I mean, the work was probably all right, but as both of you guys have said, but this was like a match they had to put together because I guess Savio really was injured. I don't really even know the story there. So, yeah, I didn't take anything away from it.
Okay. All right, since it's getting late, I'm going to move on. Let's see, I think we got a few more things to run through, but that's basically everything that I got clips for. I think we'll talk about the Mr. Perfect. Oh, Mr. Perfect and Triple H had more drama later on in the night. The match is going to be Mark Miro against Goldust. So
that's right.
Mark Miro was supposed to face Farooq, but he got injured because Ahmed Johnson attacked him on the pre-show. So we'll cover that after this. But I'll just talk about for a second. I wanted to show a funny clip from Superstars since I've been digging up gems. On this day of, Goldust was in a match. So I guess he was in 2 matches. So Goldust on Superstars was facing the Pug, and here's a clip of Mr. Perfect on commentary as Goldust does his quote-unquote mind games. You guys know what the mind games
Sure.
Goldust plays, right? So Mr. Perfect is going to comment on that.
There's a curtain call, and Goldust with a very convincing victory here. Look at that cover. What? I think he's whispering something in Alex Porto's ear. You know, there's another one I'd like to slap around Goldust. I don't like what he stands for. Look at this the mind games he plays on people. Maybe you'll get that opportunity sometime. First Helmsy tomorrow night.
So Mr. Perfect is not into Goldust's gimmick. He's like, I don't like this guy. I don't like what he stands for. It's what he said. All right. So this match is going to come about on In Your House. Goldust is in the match, and Mr. Perfect is going to come out on commentary for this. So let me jump back to In Your House Mind Games, storyline number 5 on our review. And Mark Miro is going to cut a promo, and King is going to ask him, what do you think of the replacement, Goldust being the replacement? And King, a heel commentator, is going to interview Mark Miro.
You think Wrestling Federation, but, well, Wild Man Sable, what about it? A match made? Hey, wait a minute. Let me ask him a few questions, McMahon. Hey, Wild Man, huh? We see Farooq got back trouble. I said earlier, I bet you got foot trouble now. Are your feet feeling a little cold now that you know you're going to have to get in the ring with Goldust, huh?
I don't got time for you. My eyes are too focused on the match tonight. It's unfortunate what happened to Farooq, but Goldust will suit my duty.
Hey, let me tell you.
I'm the Intercontinental Champion of the world, and tonight I'm focused on one thing, and that's beating Goldust.
Yeah, because you've never done it before. Every time you've been in the ring with Goldust, you've lost, Mark Miro, and you're fixing to lose again.
You're the chump, buddy.
You're all right. Thank you very much. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on playing that, but I just had to just because I loved it, dude. Mark Miro was like, God, shut up, King. I'm the champ and you're the chump, dude. What are you talking shit for? Anyways. Triple H. So Triple H is here because Mr. Perfect is trying to get involved. He doesn't want Goldust doing shenanigans as he's on commentary, you know, and he's already said he doesn't like him. So Triple H gets in there, who, you know, Mr. Perfect cost him his match earlier in the day. And Goldust takes a punch from Mr. Perfect. So, all right. So Kurt Hennig has been like a mentor to Mark Miro, I guess. So he was there to watch his back. And there you go. So Mark Miro retains the Intercontinental Championship. So all this storyline, let's see, I think I got some reviews from you guys as well. Let me run through that. I was the only guy who gave it anything. I gave it a half thumbs up. You guys gave it nothing. Both of you guys indifferent to this. I don't know. I think I like that Mark Miro promo. I thought that was pretty hilarious. So that was the only part of this that made me giggle at all. So we did mention the Intercontinental Championship match was where Goldust replaced Ahmed Johnson. So again, on the pre-show, not going to show this, but we'll make mention that on the Free For All pre-show that Ahmed Johnson came back and attacked Farooq. So he is not clear to wrestle, Ahmed Johnson is, but he came back and attacked Farooq so they can advance the storyline. So we've been covering this. So for completeness sake, I'll just mention this. And they didn't show it. They did one of them things where the fight already happened. Like the beatdown already happened and the camera showed up late. You know what I mean? I kind of don't like when they do that. I have a pet peeve about that too. Remember the other day I was talking about people watching matches on the monitor in the back? I also don't like when they show up to the back and someone is already beaten up. You know what I mean? So that's what happened here. Farooq was already beaten up, and Ahmed Johnson did it, so that's why Farooq couldn't participate in that match. Okay, so that's that. Next one. I guess I'll cover this. This is another storyline that you guys, I think neither one of you guys gave a positive rating to. The fourth storyline I have here is the Smoking Guns, and particularly Billy Gunn, who has a crush on Sunny. And he has to get the tag titles back to have a chance to have Sunny manage them again because he's in love with her. So this one, I think you guys didn't give, both of you guys 0, and I gave it a half thumbs up. I gave it something just because I think it's funny that Sunny literally, like, straight out tells them, look, I'm not going to want to be with you guys unless you have the championships, right? It's like their commentary of, like, a quote-unquote, like, gold digger woman. If you don't have the money, I'm not going to be with you, right? So she's straight up about it. She's like, yeah, I guess she's watching. She would get back with them if they won the tag titles. But it's kind of bullshit. Why aren't you there, like, helping them? You know what I mean? So anyways, Owen Hart and British Bulldog win that match. Something that Vlad calls filler. Right?
Yeah, I would say so. All of this was pretty much filler.
The last one is Sid. So I guess we might as well cover this because Sid becomes the #1 contender to Shawn Michaels' title, and he's facing Vader, who is managed by Jim Cornette. So I did want to mention this just because of the finish. I like the finish, which Cornette was involved in. So let me show a clip of this. Here's Sid Vicious coming out. Good match, good booking. Vader versus Sid. You really call this filler too, Vlad? Come on. I think you did give this some points, but here's Shawn Michaels coming out because Shawn Michaels is going to watch this because he's going to face the winner, and Jim Cornette gets in his face. Look how brave Cornette is, Vlad. He doesn't care. He'll stand up to Shawn Michaels. Here's a shot of Cornette managing Sid on this night, and he's going to get involved, so he tries to get through the ropes, right, when he's going to come interfere, and he gets crotched, right? Hold on, I skipped it. So here's Sid coming over. He's going to kick the rope, and he did that well, though. The way he jumped up. Hold on, I'm going to rewind this. So Sid pulls up the rope, and Cornette, whoa! And so there you go. So that did actually buy Vader a second of a distraction. So as the ref is trying to get Cornette out of the ring, who's holding on to his balls, Vader low blows Sid. So that gave Vader a chance, but it didn't really turn the tide enough as Sid does come out on top with a choke slam. So there you go. So Vlad, Survivor Series, it's going to be Shawn Michaels and Sid. You have any comments on that coming up, or on the match that you just saw, or whatever you want to talk about this?
The match that we just saw was okay. It was a big man match. It was
half a thumbs up from you.
Just okay. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, kind of like both of these guys in a sense, but it's hard to have a really good match with guys that I don't really consider like these amazing workers. They both need other guys to complement them, and this match is hard. It was hard to get really anything good out of Sid versus Vader for me personally. Somebody might have liked it, but it was just all right. They did the best they could with what they had. Survivor Series, I am looking forward to that. That I remember what happens there, and that's tremendous. Yeah. the Sid Shawn Michaels thing that goes into Survivor Series is pretty cool.
Okay. Robert, final thoughts from you? This is our last storyline for the day.
It was just okay. I was never really a big fan of either one of them, to be honest, but, it was an okay match.
Yeah, my points mainly came for the little Cornette spot, because I'm a big Cornette fan, and I thought his spot looked kind of cool, so there you go. All right, I think that'll conclude our review of, yes, that is the end of our review of In Your House Mind Games, October 20th, 1996. So, Vlad, you gave an overall comment on our review sheet. You said that this, what is the quote? Let's see, I think I have it here. Let's be real. This was a one-match card. The other stuff was filler. Okay. So, still then, your overall thoughts on the show, did that one match carry the show enough for it to be a good show, in your opinion?
Yeah, I would say it was a pretty solid show because of that, specifically because of the main event. And it was only a 2-hour show, so it helped that it wasn't like a full 3-hour thing. So yeah, I mean, it was a solid. It was a good show, I guess I'd say.
All right. Thumbs up?
I think I'd give it a half a thumb up. Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
Oh my god, I give it a thumbs up, man. I thought it was a good show, and I think I disagree with you. The rest of the show was not filler, but maybe it's because I was watching all these other shows like in between Raw and actually that whole weekend there was 4 shows that happened. There was Livewire on Saturday, Superstars Sunday morning, Free For All, and then the show itself. There was a lot of stuff happening that was for these undercard matches, that they were building up, So, Robert, are you thinking the same as Vlad? Is this a one-card match?
It was just okay. Well, I don't know about one match card, but I do agree with a half thumbs up.
Half thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm the only one who's giving this a full thumbs up. Cool. All right, so that'll conclude our review of In Your House. Show ran long today. Vlad, you want to stay for the honorable mentions?
Sure.
Raw. Gunther getting slapped. You called it one of the greatest slaps of recent memory, or what?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that was a great looking slap. It was tremendous, for sure. Great looking slap.
All right. SmackDown. This is one of my honorable mentions. The Secret Service or the Secret Hervice.
Oh, good God, bro! Come on.
I think it's a good stable to have, considering Donald Trump and everything going on right now.
Well, I guess. I mean,
it draws heat.
Yeah.
Naomi. I liked her video package on SmackDown.
The video package was pretty cool. I agree.
Demented Psycho Naomi. How about Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill? You think this is going to be a good match someday?
Potentially down the line. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Okay. And then the last thing we got from SmackDown, I guess, is Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Which
that was really good.
Drew got choke slammed into a car windshield. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot to say about this, but I liked the whole thing with Drew being so happy with himself, and he was just trying to go get drunk at some UK bar, and Priest is coming in and attacking him. The whole thing through the windshield in the car and whatnot, that was all right. All of that was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and I made a comment on my review post saying that, even though Drew's not in a main event scene, dude, he's still being featured. So this is a lot better than him being in AEW, for example. Like if he had the choice to be in the mid card here in some featured storyline for WrestleMania or being the top guy in AEW, this is still like way better, in my opinion. And then last thing from Dynamite, this is all me. I know you don't care about Swerve and Hangman Page, but as you know, Vlad, I'm sort of a depressed guy, and in my opinion, life is terrible.
Right. And how does it connect? How does it connect with this?
How does it connect, bro? I hang on. I try to live further and longer just for the chance to see one more Hangman Page Swerve Strickland match. If that happens, bro, all in Texas, baby. All in Texas. It's got to be last man standing. That's obviously always the last match in the feud. So there you go. AEW Dynamite, baby. We'll see what
whatever.
All right. Let's see. Vlad, it's just you and me at the end. Robert had to drop out. Sorry. It's already 11:30 at night here.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's late, yeah. And we were almost done with the show anyways. But all right, unless you have anything else to say, I will ask the listeners, if you're not subscribed, you got to subscribe. You just got to. All right. Thank you for being here, Vlad.
No problem. It was great to be here.
Thank you for submitting your reviews on our review posts. Vlad is featured on them. Go check it out on our YouTube page on the posts tab, and you get reviews of every single show, all the storylines. I know we can only do so many here. I'm grateful for the time I get with you guys. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys had a good time. I know I played a lot of clips today. It was a jam-packed show, but I think it was a good show. Hopefully, we'll get some views and some subscribers. I'll put it out by morning. And thank you again, Vlad, for being on. We'll see you next time.
Problem. Turn on the lights, feel the beat. Pressing tails can't be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the wrestle heat. Now the first one, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high. Fights in this, so we say. Heroes rise, villains sway. In the ring, night and day. Wrestling talk, come and stay. Now the birds fly, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high. Crash and cheer. All the news you wanna hear. Wealth and fame always near. With the crew, have no fear. All the birds fly, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high. Catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smoke's always high.